you think about the story of the tortoise and the hare, how do you feel about that story? Do you feel like it's actually a false representation of reality and the hare should have won the race? Well, in this video, I will be talking exactly how that story relates to our reality, and hopefully by watching this video, if you feel the opposite, maybe your point of view will change. So let's quickly recap the story before I get into this video. There's a tortoise, there's a hare. The hare pretty much is laughing at the tortoise like he's a joke because of how slow he is. The hare is much faster in everything they do. He challenges the tortoise to a race, and in that race he feels like he's basically very confident in himself that he can just beat this tortoise, and at the same time the tortoise is confident that he can beat this hare, and the hare finds it hilarious that this tortoise can actually that this tortoise thinks that he can compete with him. So they get someone to judge them. They both start the race. As the race starts off, the hare is pretty much off to the races. He leaves the tortoise in the dust. About halfway through the race, the hare is so confident, he just decides to get sidetracked. I'm gonna just take a nap. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna win this race. The tortoise is still moving at this constant pace, deliberate pace that he was moving at from the start of the race. Ends up passing the hare towards the finish line. As the tortoise gets closer and closer to it, the hare wakes up, starts panicking, tries to run as fast as he can to really catch up, faster than before, to get to the finish line before the tortoise. He doesn't make it in time, and we know what happens. The tortoise wins the race. Now here's one element in that story that's very important to the outcome of it, and that is time. See, when we look at time, one element in that story that was very important is time. See, time, like the other natural laws in the universe, like gravity, is something that we cannot control. And with time is interesting. See, when we think about time, it tends to go slower. We've all been there when we're at work, we're looking at the clock, when we're constantly thinking about it, it tends to drag. When we don't think about time, it tends to go by quickly. And with that being said, if you look at where today's date and where we are right now, whenever you're watching this video, it is November, right now in 2019. If we really start to think about how quickly this year went by, it's kind of mind-boggling in a way. And we've all had these conversations with people where we're like, wow, this year is going by so fast, or this week is going by so fast. I mean, that's pretty much because we don't think about it, and then over a period of time, we're like, wow, the time pretty much has gone by so quickly. Now think about this. What if you started something deliberately and consistently on January the 1st of this year? And let's say you worked at it every single day. Think about where you would be right now. Well, there's definitely a good chance that where you would be right now will be much further ahead as opposed to if you were on and off with something. And that's kind of like how New Year's resolutions don't work in general. It's because we don't consistently keep doing the thing that we plan to do. That's pretty much the easy answer as to how these New Year's resolutions don't work, but there's more to it. But in a nutshell, you don't consistently keep doing the thing that you set out to do, which doesn't help you to reach that goal that you have. And the reason why we don't really consistently keep up with things is because we all want instant gratification. I mean, no one wants to do the mundane task on a daily basis where you absolutely see zero results. Some days are even worse than other days. When you're doing the same things, you feel like you should be getting somewhere, but you're not, you don't see it right away. And it makes sense. I mean, who wants to put in a whole bunch of energy and effort when you're getting absolutely no return? And by doing so, that's what causes us to really stop doing things. And that's one of the reasons why the hare lost the race. You see, he was off to a good start, like most of us are when we set out to do something, but he didn't consistently focus on that end goal, which was winning that race. So in order for him to win that race, he had to constantly keep running at the same pace he was running at. So he definitely would have won that race, you see. But instead of constantly focused on running, he got sidetracked and ended up taking a nap. And the second reason he lost that race is because of time. See, he could have still won if there was still time on his side, but he ended up wasting too much time getting sidetracked. And that's how we also stop doing things consistently. We get sidetracked. It could be partying, it could be hanging out with friends, it could be relationships, it could be simply just getting focused on other things, you know. Things like that is what causes us to stop focusing on the consistent, deliberate tasks, like the tortoise was doing. All the tortoise had to do was just constantly focus on what he was doing, and that's what would cause him to win the race. Now, it doesn't mean that it's bad to be fast like the hare and get sidetracked, because you can still complete things as the hare. I mean, when we look at school, almost everybody in school, we don't study every day. We don't start our projects as soon as the teacher gives us the project and the due date. A lot of us like to wait until the last minute, and we do other stuff. We push off schoolwork, and we do other things, and then we get back to our schoolwork when the time counts, and we still end up graduating and passing our classes. So it's basically different things. You can attack it differently, but overall, over the long haul, see, this story represents the long haul of life. Journeys that require months to a year to years. Like a career, like you're working on a skill that you're working on, like playing an instrument, a sport, stuff like that. This story applies to things over the long haul, which requires consistent, deliberate effort over long periods of time, which is what most people aren't going to do. So that's exactly how you need to look at things that you set out to do, that far-fetched goals. You know, you have to really break it down to daily, consistent habits that you absolutely must not stop for any reason. That's the only way you'll be able to really get to that long-term goal. And just like the tortoise, you can overcome and get to that goal while other people are faster than you, smarter than you. As long as you're more consistent over the longer period of time, you end up achieving more. You know, for me, I'm a slow learner. You know, there have been people at my job that have been getting promoted much quicker than me, but as I can see from the outside looking in, I don't know how their personal lives are. I feel like I'm generally more happier, and I'm more confident in my future with this company because I feel like I will be able to outlast them. I have a more positive outlook on the future, and I know exactly what I'm doing on a daily basis. So I feel like I haven't lost my motivation to show up every single day, while other people who have gone further than me are starting to lose that. So just remember, consistent effort can really make the difference. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.